Okay, go ahead.
Our mission, Helping Parents Heal, is a nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting parents whose children have passed. Through support and resources offered, we aspire to help individuals become shining light parents, meaning a shift from a state of emotional heaviness to one of hopefulness and greater peace of mind. Helping Parents Heal goes a step beyond other groups by allowing the open discussion of spiritual experiences and afterlife evidence in a non dogmatic way. Helping Parents Heal affiliate groups welcome everyone, regardless of religious or non religious background, and encourage open dialogue. Attendance at this meeting is voluntary. We hope that participants will learn from and share with each other. Discussions here are not designed to replace traditional therapy or spiritual counseling. Zoom meetings run by leadership are not confidential. These meetings typically feature guest presenters and are posted on YouTube so that affiliate members worldwide can watch and benefit. Neither type of Helping Parents Heal meeting is designed to replace traditional therapy or spiritual counseling. Helping Parents Heal offers a wide variety of speakers, allowing parents to learn about many possible ways to heal. This includes presenters covering progressive topics such as afterlife evidence and connecting with our children who've passed. The views expressed by our guest speakers may or may not reflect the opinions of Helping Parents Heal leaders and members, so we ask that you take from their presentations whatever may benefit you personally. Welcome, everyone. We're so glad you're here, and thank you again, Jacob, for doing it this evening.
Yes, thank you, Jacob. This is so wonderful to have you here, and I'm sure that a lot of people have already heard Jacob present. He is just amazing. He's one of these very old souls who is so learned for being so young. And he's also someone who is one of the most compassionate people that I've ever met. He came to our conference last time. He'll be at our conference again this time. And I also just wanted to read you his very short bio. He sent a bio that's really easy to read. So just to let you know a little bit about him. Passionate about promoting healing, Jacob Cooper, best-selling author of Life After Breath and The Wisdom of Jacob's Ladder, both books that are fabulous, is a near-death experiencer and sought-after speaker on mental health, spirituality, consciousness, offering elevating seminars and individualized services to help others to find purpose and connect with their inner power. And his website is www.jacoblcooper.com. And I just want to say again that we feel so grateful to have Jacob as a resource for helping parents heal, as a provider. He's someone that we are He's always there for us, and I'm just so grateful that all of you are here this evening to be able to share in this meditation. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat box, and without further ado, Jacob, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, thank you, Elizabeth and Irene. You guys can all hear me. I'm coming in clearly. You could see me okay. Thumbs up. Well, it's a pleasure to connect with you. Some of you might have seen me with Helping Parents Heal on other videos and the past conference. If not, this is our first time meeting, and I'm completely honored. A little bit about myself is I had a very transformative near-death experience as a young child in which I completely suffocated. My brain literally snapped in half due to the deprivation of oxygen. But after this experience, I was completely transformed. I believe epiphanies by themselves don't necessarily change you, but what you learn with them and what we do with them can. And so all my life's work has, really been giving, well, trying to share people the special place that I went to and my near-death experience. And I do believe it's a place that we all remember in our hearts of hearts. And one particular practice that, I'm going to be doing with you guys tonight that's really, a passion of mine is meditation. I do believe that for my own personal and professional practice, that meditation has the capacity to heal so many different parts, but specifically the meditation that I'm going to do today, helps us to take ourselves from the infinite to the finite. And I do believe that going inward and letting go really does help. Now, certainly, there's a lot of neuroscientists and neuropsychology to support what mindfulness does to the brain and what it can do to the brain. But I firmly believe that the brain is just merely a filter between the two worlds. And all meditation does is allow that filter to not be a barrier between, the two worlds. And so when we're able to relax, which really the meditation that we're going to be doing today does, it allows us to understand that there is a you beyond the you. There's a you beyond your thoughts, your emotions, your worries, your concerns, and even your sadness. And by understanding that, a lot of people have experiences where they connect to loved ones as well, as you'll understand that you're more than your body on an individual basis. And so too, you could understand that your loved ones are as well, that we're all interconnected. As before I was listening to a John Lennon song, and he said, "I am you, and you and me, you are me, and we are all together." And that really just spoke about one of his trips that he had on a hallucinogenic, but in reality speaks to the oneness that we all have. And meditation is very expansive. It allows us to let go of that small self and to really expand, like I said, from the finite to the infinite. And the last piece before I get into the guided meditation is the value of the breath. Breath work is something that I really have been leaning into a lot on an outer and inner level. But as a young boy, I had a condition where my human breath was taken from me, and I completely suffocated due to pertussis and whooping cough. And that's when the angelic realm opened up and I was connected to my loved ones on the other side, and I had a full crossing over experience. But when I had my own human breath taken from me, I was able to surrender to this higher breath, the breath of eternity, which I do believe we are all created from. In my own language that I speak outside of English, the word for spirit is translated as the wind or the breath of God. And meditation really, I do believe, allows us to connect to this universal breath and allows us to connect to our deeper, higher selves. And with that, we could flow through life a lot easier and let go of some of the sadness and the worry. And I don't know about you, but I felt this myself, like during these holiday times, it could be quite challenging for many of us where we look at that table and we we just it feels foreign to not see that loved one that we know, whether that be a pet or if, someone who we knew physically, is no longer physically there. But I hope through tonight that not only could you have the intellectual understanding that love knows no death, that love continues, but that our loved ones are still always right here in the depths of our hearts, in the deep parts of our mind, that we're all connected. We're all energy. And I think when people are able to meditate, they are able to really have a deeper understanding of their eternal selves on a full experiential level. And that, for many, could be very cathartic and relieving. It certainly doesn't immunize um, a lot of the pain that may happen, but certainly suffering becomes an optionality. And people could really learn how to self-soothe. Um, and, I work in the field of mental health, and certainly when something difficult or scary happens, um, we could get quite shaken to our core, and especially when trauma happens or traumatic grief could happen. And meditation, and and I hope you'll get this from tonight, is learning how to self-parent, how to be compassionate to yourself when you're feeling a bit shaken. Because in reality, when something happens that's scary, we could get quite shaken. And when you're able to meditate, you understand what's real. And what's real is your love that you have, the love that you had with your loved ones, the soul. All those things are very real. The rest is just temporary turbulence. It doesn't, last forever. And so meditation really allows us to remember who we are and to self-soothe ourselves when we're feeling a little bit unsettled. It's like this big bombing hug that we could all give towards ourselves. And I know during the holidays, that's what a lot of people miss, is that warm embrace from that loved one that they miss. And I hope with today you could feel a little bit of that, a little bit of that warm embrace with yourself, with your loved one, with spirit, to know that they are always still right here in the depths of our heart. And so, if you can, um, you could just put your phone on the highest possible volume. No, I'm just messing. If you could put your phone on mute, just so that you could get relaxed, and if there's someone who may disturb you, just politely say, hey, I'm self-prioritizing. I say I'm not medicating, but I'm meditating right now. So yeah, meditation's a new medication, but just get quiet, and all you'll do is just follow my voice and suggestions. And then after, if time permits, maybe you could share some of your experience. So there's many forms of meditation. There's mindfulness meditation. There's transcendental meditation. This is just simply a guided meditation. Some of you may go a little bit out there, that's okay, but we'll all come back to the body, and you know, um, you'll go where you're meant to go. And so um, you just listen to my voice. It's just going to give you some suggestions, and it's up to your higher mind and higher selves as to what you would like to do with that. In addition to this, I forgot to mention, I also do regressions with clients, including past life regressions as well as between life soul regressions. And if that's something that you're interested in, you could certainly, check out my website, because that really does lean into some of the bigger questions that people have as souls. It's just, who am I? Why did I come here? Where do I go when I leave this body? And who and what am I connected to within this body? And, past life regression, between life soul regressions, really lean into some of the most fundamental, existential type questions that we could have in a very direct, experiential way. So that's pretty cool. But I think spirituality is a participation sport, where each and every one of us has an ability to connect to our loved ones. You certainly could go to an HPH medium, and many of my colleagues are fantastic, but they would tell you the same thing that I am, that you could also connect to, and you could expand, as ultimately belief shapes behaviors. And once you believe and know that you are a soul, that will allow you to expand. Once you see yourself as just a body, that could be a little bit constricting in what we can do. So, if anything else, we're all explorers, and that's how the world was found, through exploration and challenging the paradigms of the time that once saw this world as flat to see it as round. And so, I think difficulties, challenges, and having loved ones cross over, for many, can be challenging, but I've noticed time and time again that it leads to people to reevaluate their lives and to look at, their loved ones and the nature of reality in a much different vantage point. And so, as Wayne Dyer would say, when you change the way you look at things, things you look at change. And so, ultimately, that's all what each and every day is about, is just shifting that lens and to go higher and to elevate and to really remember who and what we are. So, without that, I'm going to start the guided meditation, and we'll get into it. And I hope that you're able to really connect and feel that warming balm of love, with spirit, with potentially your loved ones. Maybe it's a guide, maybe it's a pet, and maybe it's you giving yourself love, which I know is hard to do sometimes, but that's a very important thing to do, especially when things are challenging. As when the winds are the strongest, that's when the foundation needs to be the strongest. And meditation is a way of really strengthening this and reminding ourselves that we are never, ever alone. We are so much more than we could ever imagine. So, just going to ask you all to sit if you can, or if you could still hear my voice, you could lie down, and everyone's on mute and just removing distractions. And so at this time, just begin to, you could close your eyes if you feel so called to, or you could just have your gaze just gently on something within the room, preferably not the screen, but just focus on something. And now is the time to use your inner eyes. We have our physical eyes that we use throughout the majority of the day, but now is a time to look inward. We're going to change the position of the way that we're viewing things. We're going to look within. And so now at this time, just begin to close your eyes and just take a deep, slow inhalation through your nose. And at your own readiness, exhale through your mouth. So when you breathe in, allow that breath to go to the top and hold it there for just a few moments. And once you reach the top of your inhalation through your nose, you gently let the pressure go and you breathe it out. And so you inhale, inflate, and you exhale, just deflate. Feel your whole body filling with this beautiful light, this warmth. And as you exhale, letting go of all that doesn't serve your greatest and highest good. And allow yourself to just be in tune with what you know in your soul. From a broader perspective, you are perfect, magnificent, and beautiful as you are, and so very loved. And from the soul's perspective, all is well, was well, will be well. You are a timeless, eternal, sacred soul having a temporary human experience. And so now, as you're breathing, you might notice that your body becomes more relaxed, more at ease, and more open. So, starting from the top of your head, breathing in through the top of your head. And if you have a lot of thoughts, that's very normal. Just imagine those thoughts going by like leaves in a stream of water, just going by in your gaze, and just observing what's happening. We absorb way too much, and just allow yourself to observe. We have the thought channel, the emotional channel, and we also have the spirit channel, which is expansive, loving, reassuring, comforting. And so now give yourself permission to tap into that spirit channel. The more relaxed you come, the easier it is to hear this spirit channel and to feel it in every fiber of your being. And so feel this spirit channel going down your facial muscles, your jaw, even your throat area, making its way down to your shoulders. We all hold so much of the weight on the world of our shoulders. We put so much pressure on ourselves. And just for a moment, allow yourself to feel your shoulders going back and feeling your chest and heart opening. And allow yourself to let go of all the world weariness and worries and concern, and recognizing how magnificent, sacred, expansive you are, and how the spirit realm is so very proud of each and every one of you. Allow your shoulders to soften as that stream of peace goes into your arms, into your elbows, into your hands, and feel your heart expanding. And as you go into your heart, just allow yourself to lean into the things that you love the most, or it could be an activity or something that brings you enthusiasm and joy, and focusing on that. And if you can't feel that, it's okay to not feel okay. allowing yourself to give yourself, and you can do this, a big hug, feeling the warmth if you can't focus on that one thing, and sharing reassuring words. All is well. You are safe. And no matter what is thrown your way, you will go on. You will grow and evolve. You are okay. You are safe. And you are amazing beyond comprehended words. And feeling that warmth radiate to the depths of your heart. And if there's someone or something that needs that, feel these beams of light shining from yourself to that person, situation, or even the world outside of you, sharing those beams of light, and allow this energy to go down to your stomach. You could even place your hand on a particular area that may need more TLC or attention, or you could use your mind's eye and just allow that warmth to go to all places. Allow that light to go to all the cracks, feeling your entire being illuminating with this light and this warmth without limitation. You are an unlimited being of light. Feeling this, knowing this, experience this. As you breathe in this reality, breathe it in, breathe in this beautiful light that you are and forever connected to. And when you're ready, just exhale all of those limiting beliefs, doubts, separations, or small sense of self that we may have hold on to. And feel this wave of light going all the way down to your legs, and feel it in your thigh muscles. And imagine that each part of your body has a nose to it, and you're breathing in this beautiful light to every area in your whole body is becoming this light. You are the light. Now at this time, allowing this light to go down to your feet, the bottom of your feet, and feel a deep connection to the earth, to sensuality, feeling as though your feet are walking through the depths of a beautiful wooden forest. You're taking in all the aromas. You're seeing the beautiful light go throughout the canopies of the trees, and you feel your feet grounded. And just look at this beautiful redwood tree that you notice in the distance, as that is just a mere reflection of each and every one of ourselves. In this life, we are deeply rooted to the earth with connections to the upper etherical realms. We are brilliant souls having this beautiful earthly experience. And now just see yourself just walking in this beautiful forest, taking in all the beautiful sights, sounds, smells, and even the feels around you, and feeling this beautiful sun shimmering all over your body, seeing the sun as just a reflection of who we are. Just as the planet needs light, needs the sun, so too does this earth, does this body. And allow yourself to feel your true self, your infinite eternal light reflected in that sun. And allow yourself right now to go in front of a beautiful redwood tree with its branches reaching up to the infinite and its roots deeply anchored, and feeling that as a reflection of who you are, feeling the upper worlds and this earth intersection, intersecting. And now at this time, you could stand in front of the tree and allow yourself to give it a big hug, letting go of all of your fears, the world weariness that we all carry, all the pain and suffering, sadness, anxiety, whatever that is, and just letting it go into the tree. Just as we breathe in trees and breathe in the oxygen in this life, and we let go of what we don't need, imagine this is happening energetically and seeing the energy of this beautiful tree and this light filling your entire being where there's no space for heaviness and any bit of heaviness or darkness, trusting that this hug and this tree and this light will go to all those points and clear it, and feeling your energy expand as you take in this light, the strength, and this beauty of the tree, and feeling its hug never leaving you. And at this time, if there is someone or something that you miss, you could also feel that hug, knowing that your eternal love, the love that you have and experience in all of its forms, is eternal, and you become one with that. Your light and this light is forever connected. And just to allow yourself, just for a couple of moments, to feel this warm embrace, whatever it is that comes to your mind, whatever it is that your soul is called to, just allow this hug to enter all parts of your being and giving your love back to it as well. Just stay there for just a few moments. Breathe it in, this beautiful, loving light. Breathe it out. You could stay there for as long as you'd like, and know that at any point in time, you could always come back to this embrace, and you could do it on yourself as well. And at this time, you may notice that there's a beautiful bubble of light that's expanding around you. And just feel this light growing, knowing that life is much like this exercise that we did. In order to give, we must receive. We must allow ourselves to receive love, to give love. And the ultimate expansive act is in just that, learning how to nurture and give warmth and love to ourselves so we could breathe that out to the world. But it first starts with ourselves, knowing that we are immeasurably worthy, valuable of receiving this love. For we are all our brothers and sisters' keeper, here to take care of each other. And so now at this time, you might feel this beautiful electricity and expanded light, and this undeniable realization that love remains eternal. And just allowing your light to expand and to go out to any part of you that may need this or benefit from this beautiful realization. So it could go into the cells of your body. Now at this time, just allow yourself to take a step back from this tree, allowing yourself to come back to this tree at any point in time, and knowing that the tree wants you to receive first so that you can give. And the tree wants you to give yourselves daily hugs and warmth and to be there, not just when we're feeling at our highest, but to be there especially when we're at our darkest place. For that is the human experience in a nutshell. We are beings of light who came to this earth plane to illuminate the planet, to go to all the crevices. This is what we do towards ourselves and to the life that we live and walk. And so at this time, just imagine before we depart this brief exercise that you're sitting as you're walking this beautiful path, and you're sitting on a beautiful bench overlooking your favorite part of nature. That could be beaches or mountains or deserts or whatever it is that come to your field of awareness that brings you joy and connects you to the spirit realm. And imagine right now you're feeling a sense by one side of you or the other, an expanded force of love around you that could be your own higher self. Maybe that's a spirit guide, a loved one, a pet, and knowing that we are always loved, we are always looked at for after. Any thought or emotion that we have is all heard, all seen, and we are all so very loved for the strength, resilience, and compassion that we give towards ourselves and to others that we walk in our path. Now feeling this warm embrace that you have and this reassurance to keep on persevering one foot at a time, one step at a time, understanding that you are all doing beyond expectation. You are incredible. You are strong. You're resilient. You are deep. You are love. And you are forever loved. Now feel this in every part of your body and being, receiving this love, knowing that we're never alone. We're always protected, and we all are living a brilliant, guided path with so many forces at hand that we're not always aware of. Now, just take that in for one last moment. Breathe it in and feeling a sense of gratitude for being able to give yourself compassion, to grow, and to continue on your path. Now, at this time, you can begin to feel this beautiful beam of light going into the top of your head, down into your forehead, down, right back down, down into your shoulders and heart center, down until you reach the bottom of your feet and feeling a sense of shift, maybe a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, and remembering how sacred, special, and significant each and every being is, especially you. Breathing that in, breathing that out, feeling yourself sitting in the chair in a much different way. How beautiful it is to remember or have the opportunity to remember who we really are. And with that, taking slow movements and feeling maybe a little bit of a shift in your energy. You might feel maybe a spinning disc in front of you, or your heart maybe feel warmer, shoulders maybe more relaxed. You might even feel a blinking sensation right in between your eyes. And if you feel nothing, I promise you, you lean into it a little bit closer, you will feel something. And so if this was helpful. You could always go back to this particular video and to give yourself love, especially during these times, and knowing we are forever connected to the Spirit, our loved ones, and we are eternal, magnificent beings having a temporary human experience. Thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful, Jacob. And I just want to say that I was thinking throughout that this must kind of be, we have some hearts coming up here as well, a little bit like when you um, crossed over to the other side. As a near-death experiencer, do you think that it's important for you to do meditation because you like to be able to recreate um,
hmm
the feeling that you had when you transitioned?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think many near-death experiencers and a lot of souls in one way or another feel a sense of homesickness for the other side and, for that home. And meditation is a way to find a home in this life, in this body. It takes us from the finite to the infinite, and it's a way to really raise, evolve, and expand our consciousness. So absolutely, meditation for myself and for many other people is a really wonderful way to really expand our energy. And a lot of people, ask me, do I have to have a near-death experience to remember my eternity or to cross over? And what I would say is no, through breath work, you could really understand that no matter what, there is a you beyond the you. And I look at meditation as a way of developing intimacy with eternity. It's a way of really experiencing it on a much deeper level. And it goes beyond the intellectual understanding of who we are. And it's a direct experience. As I mentioned before, this life is a participation sport. And, meditation is that way for us to really get deeper, into the game, into who we are, so that we could be of service to others and to give and to expand. Ultimately, the most expansive thing I've ever done in this life has been in the service of others. But ultimately, to do that, I need to tune in and tap in. So that really does help me to show up as best as I can for other people.
You have a beautiful voice, and I can also imagine the past life regressions that you do because I could imagine being guided on a journey into a past life regression. Maybe while you're here, because a lot of people don't know what a past life regression is and they've never even heard of a past life regression. Could you explain? And I just want to also say that Dr. Linda and Dr. Earl Bachman are going to be at our conference as well. And I know
Mhm.
that a lot of you love them. They're also, actually, Linda was your teacher. Is that right?
Yeah, well, Dr. Linda was my teacher. I've learned past life regression years ago with someone else, but I was able to really expand my awareness within past life regression therapy through Linda, and I also learned between life soul regression. But Linda worked closely and trained with an individual named Dr. Michael Newton. Uh, I just want to bring him up because um, really he was working as like a traditional hypnotist, and a client came to him for something they were dealing with. I think they had a pain on their side, and Michael, you know, to this client said, just go to the source of your pain. And the client went directly to the source, to a life where they were living. And I do believe it was like the French battalion, something like that in World War One. Maybe I'm mistaken about it, but he was skeptical, so he kept on grilling this person about the specific part of the military that they're in, what unit they're in, everything like that. The person, this is probably before Google was big, was able to really nail down, all parts of where they were, and is very much an evidential regression. Why I bring that up is past life regression, much like Michael Newton experience, it helps people to go to the source of themselves. It goes to the higher source, but it goes to the source of whatever it is that you're dealing with. And so let's say you've visited a traditional therapist like myself, but there's something that may be holding you back. Or for some, it could allow you to understand some of the deeper gifts that you carry over. I have a colleague of mine who did a past life regression with the great Brian Weiss, who many are familiar with, who wrote the book Many Lives, Many Masters, and I do believe the late 80s, and he's a Yale-trained psychiatrist. But she was getting regressed with Brian, and all of a sudden, her mediumistic abilities exploded after that regression to the point that right after the regression was over, someone came up to her and she just started reading for the person. And like things were very much evidential. And the person said to her, I didn't want to live anymore, and your reading saved my life. And so that's just, why I'm bringing that up is oftentimes people pathologize past life regression, where it's just something negative or a phobia, but for many, it could explain the gifts that we carry over. And I do believe Henry Ford said that mastery is not a result of one lifetime, but many lifetimes that we inherit the gifts that we work on. So certainly, it really could give clients a lot of a deeper understanding as to why they are the way that they are, and why they carry over some things that may not be explained in this lifetime, that they're here to enhance or maybe here to evolve from and work on. So, yeah, but
Beautiful. And
yep.
I would love to just tell you that people are writing about the meditation in the chat box. Wendy's saying this was a most amazing journey into mindfulness and relaxation. It lifted my spirits and helped to feel warm and connected. Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate all the support and love you
Yeah.
share through your life. And it's true, I just have to say, here you are, a beautiful young man who hasn't ever gone through what we've gone through, but you're devoting your life to being able
Mhm.
to help us to feel connected to
Mhm.
our loved ones in spirit, which is such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
CB is saying such a beautiful experience. Thank you, Jacob.
Mhm.
Patricia is saying peacefulness. It was a beautiful meditation.
Mhm.
And I also just would love for you to talk a little bit about the between lives regression, because that's another thing that people don't necessarily understand about. If you could
Mhm.
explain a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And to clarify, it wasn't biological, but I had a friend that was, pretty much a brother to me, crossed over a couple of years ago. And when that did happen, it certainly shook up my world, but allowed myself to develop so much inspiration and I would just say compassion for all those in helping parents heal. And it just really allowed me a lot of admiration for each and every one of you in what your experience, and a lot more relatability, and as well as just looking at life in another lens. To me, once the body goes, that's transformative for souls, but for us, it can be as well. And I know so many of you are starting to reevaluate things and to look at this world maybe in a different way. But between life soul regression is something that I absolutely love as well. Essentially, um, the biggest question that I do believe that was posed in modern day times is by Albert Einstein. and Einstein said, is the universe, a random place? Is the universe a place with order, or is it a place of ambivalence or somewhere in between? What between life soul regression does is really lean into that exact question and allows people to really take a deeper look at the blueprint that they had before they got into this body and the charting phase that came into this life. And so people are able, from a firsthand experience, to really know that this life is not random and the challenges and hard things that happen in our life, while on the surface, we could really start to second guess the spirit realm or maybe want to fire our spirit guides or we're angry at God, and all those things are justifiable. Absolutely. Been there, done that. But between life soul regression really allows us to have a deeper understanding as to, why we have some of the challenges, what were they about, and the life that we planned before we got into this body. And so that really allows people to find maybe order in some of the disorder, if you will. I've worked with, shining lights before, and during the regressions, between life soul regressions, they've been able to really understand a little bit more on a deeper level some of the challenges they may have. It also allows people to get in touch with their deeper level, with their spirit guides, with their soul pods or soul groups that we frequently incarnate with, as well as just a deeper understanding at the very least that we don't die, we're eternal, that life is not random chaos. There is a plan and a blueprint before we do get here. So people are able to remember, a little bit of this plan that we had before we got into this body so that they could, trust a little bit more and to really navigate. As I believe that we can never really control the waves, but we certainly can learn how to surf. And once we trust the ocean of life, once we trust that, that could allow us to really transverse whatever it is that comes our path and to pivot a little bit easier from that perspective of an inner knowing of trust, if that makes sense.
It's beautiful. And I love that phrase, surf the waves. It's true. I mean, that's basically what we're doing here is to surf the waves and to understand that this journey is all about love and that and being kind to others and being able to move forward and heal together. And I love your explanation of the between lives soul regression, but I wanted to also just bring up the fact that you explained so well about how a spiritually transformative experience, like your near death experience, allows us to open to all of these gifts that are waiting for us that we don't really realize exist until something like this happens. It
Mhm.
happened to you very early, but then again with your friend. And for us, this whole experience of having a child or children who have transitioned is something that allows us to want to be able to look at the big picture and find out that there's more. And they're all very similar. And I
Mhm.
love the way that you were able to summarize all of those different experiences
Mhm.
and explain about how they're so similar in our spiritual awakening. Maybe you could just do a resume of those because
Mhm.
I'm sure that a lot of people weren't able to hear this, and I just think it's so fascinating how you were able to do that.
Yeah, it's like I mentioned before, there's such a relationship, there's such a strong relationship with our beliefs and how we see the world and our behaviors. And to many, I could certainly understand the justification. But, and I would say one of the biggest question is life happening to us or for us? And once we're able to develop this trust, we start to listen to these shakeups. I do believe shakeups are wake-ups, and they can potentially be. And they allow us to really reevaluate, look at life in a different way, and to remind ourselves who we are and start to ask some of those bigger questions that it's okay to explore, that it's okay to ask. Through exploration, that's how we find new physical worlds, and that's how we're able to really remember and find the unseen world with the physical eye. And so that's very important. For most of us who are comfortable, we're not, going to really question things. But sometimes when we're a little bit, when we have these shake-up periods, that allows many to just reevaluate their lives and how they look at reality and to just see things in a much different way. So I think everything is really how we take it. I do believe ultimate freedom is in that space between whatever happens to us and how we respond to it, how we view it. And so whatever that space is filled, that will be our experience. And ultimately there are people who have, absolutely nothing materially, but have everything spiritually, and people have everything, in one sense to be happy, but feel absolutely nothing. And I've learned that really it's that space in between. That's really where ultimate freedom lies. And that's really what the spiritual practice is about. So that's what I've been leaning into these days. But whenever something happens challenging to myself, I remember, you know, who I am, that and who we all are infinite, eternal beings. That not even for myself, I looked at physical, death in the eyes and my near-death experience and the ultimate fear that we have to just see that it doesn't really exist, that the soul moves on and progresses. The body is temporary. What's real is not temporary. What's real is eternal. Um, and so that which is real can never change. What changes isn't to me in the bigger term, very real. And what's real is the love that we have, the love we experience, and the connections that we have, in this lifetime. All those things are real and true, and they go on, in on the other side. And sometimes the smallest things that we feel are small, those continue to be experienced through the other side. So if anything else, don't beat yourselves up and understand you're so much more than what you are. The things that you view are small to through the eyes of another are so much bigger, once they get there. And it happens all times through readings when, someone will come through and you'll have like this minor interaction on a human level that you have with that person, but they'll talk about this time as if it's frozen in eternity, and they just have this eternal gratitude for the kindness that you had to them. So we just are so much more in so many ways that we could ever imagine. And once we are able to live that way, our lives could be transformed in such a deeper way. But we have to listen. We have to allow ourselves to trust and just to feel these nudges to just shift our reality in a different way.
It's beautiful. And I think that it's important for all of us to realize that we are so powerful, that we are so much more powerful than we ever imagined. And that comes through this experience. But it also comes from knowing that our children are with us every single step of the way, as
Mhm.
well as our spirit guides, as well as everyone who's helping us, our soul pod as well. And I love that
Yeah.
expression. And I think that that's also something that may be a little bit new to some people, but that we are going through this life learning so many new things. Unfortunately, some of them are very difficult and seem like they're earth shaking when they happen. And they are, they're earth shaking to each and every one of us. But at the same time, we're learning things that we'd already planned before we ever came here
Mhm.
with our children and with everyone that we love. And ultimately, we will all be together again. And I feel so grateful that Jacob, in in his beautiful way of doing this, is able to express this to us. I'm always so calm and so happy when Jacob comes to speak with us because he makes these very busy days that have ups and downs seem um, almost meaningless, and he does do these meditations that are just so healing. Irene, did you want to say something? I'm sorry, I see you're unmuted.
No, that's okay. I
Oh,
love
okay.
listening to you and I love listening to Jacob. His voice just is very relaxing. And yes, it was a very stressful day and I felt the stress just melt away and I feel great. So thank you, Jacob. And I also wanted to share that Brian Weiss's books are my favorite books.
Yes.
I read them over and over again. Messages from the Masters, and all of them are just such beautiful, beautiful writings. I always, as a caring listener, I always recommend his books for people
Mhm.
that are newer on the journey. It's easy reading, and they're just amazing.
And
Mhm.
they are beautiful. Unfortunately, Brian Weiss, I think, is in the mountains of Colorado right now, so it's hard to interview him because he doesn't have Wi-Fi connections and things to make it easy to
Keep
be able.
reaching out and asking him. We can't get him to do it, but I think he's around 90 years old now, so I don't know how much
Yeah, he might
he's
not have
doing.
time. When he reincarnates, we'll be able to talk to him But in any case, thank you all for being here. You're
Yes.
all such an important part of our journey, and Jacob is as well. It's going to be wonderful to have him at the conference this year. It's going to be wonderful to have Dr. Earl and Linda Bachman. She actually reached out to me today and wants to find a time to be able to come back and speak with us. Jackie is saying, let's see, Roseanne is saying the hard experiences shake us out of our dreamlike state, which is true, which is what we could call our lives before having our children transition, kind of a dreamlike state. Everything was fine, everything was great, but now we understand that there's so much more than what we see here on Earth and what we experience here on Earth. It's such a beautiful world, and thank you for coming, Jacob. It's always such a nice thing to be able to see you. Thank you, Irene, for being here. Thank you all for being here. It's wonderful to see affiliate leaders. Roseanne is one of our affiliate directors who was writing in the chat box as well. Laura is also an affiliate leader in Florida. And please reach out to our caring listeners. Please reach out to our affiliate leaders if you need any help during this holiday season. But we are also here for you. So please know
We have plenty of meetings for you to attend.
we have so many meetings
We
coming
have
up that you can
many
attend.
upcoming meetings.
So hopefully we'll see you on all the meetings and we'll surround you with love, and you'll know that this holiday season isn't as difficult as you may think it's going to
No.
be. It's actually a lot of fun. There's so much collateral beauty in everything that we do, especially during the holidays. So thank you again, Jacob. Thank you all.
Yes,
We can,
please unmute and
yeah,
share and say thank you and good night to Jacob. Thank you, Jacob. It was great.
yes,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Thank you
Jacob.
so
Thank you.
much. It was beautiful.
Thank
Thank
you,
Thank you,
you.
everyone, for
ladies.
being
Thank
here.
you. Thank
Have a
you.
wonderful rest of the evening. Take
Yes.
You
care,
too.
everybody.
See everybody
Bye-bye.
Much
soon.
love.
Jacob.
Bye-bye.
Bye.